Hey everyone, I'm Bill Wanek, creative director, copywriter, and the guy who spent almost 2 decades behind the curtain at the biggest agencies in the world. I've worked on brands you've heard of like Disney, Marvel, T-Mobile, Wild Turkey, Adidas, Sears, Asics, and I'm here to tell you something most people in advertising just won't. You don't need an agency. Not anymore. I know. Painful. That hurts to hear, right? But it's the truth. Sure, if you're a giant conglomerate brand with 30 offices across the world, you're going to need an advertising agency. But if you are just starting a brand, if you're a mid-level company out there, we live in the best time in history right now for anybody with a business, a product, or even just an idea to build a brand. And it's all because of one thing, AI. Sure, people hated on it a couple years ago, but now it's helping us more than ever. And I'm telling you, if you've got something in your heart, a thought for a brand or a business that you want to do, you should do it. Now is the time for you to do it. There's never been so much at your disposal through AI to help you build it, okay? I mean, think about it. 10 years ago, if you wanted a logo, a website, an ad campaign, a photo shoot, you had to hire people, actual humans, designers, editors, developers, animators. You were at their mercy, right? But here's the thing. They had the skill, they had the tools, they had the access. But now, the skill is sitting on our laptops. It's on your phone. It's in your pocket. You've got design tools, video editors, voiceovers, automation, full marketing stacks, just a few clicks away. Hey, and I get it. Those people had the skills and they deserve every cent of it, right? Like it was a need that needed to be met. And designers, art directors, illustrators are invaluable. It's part of creativity that can never be replaced. But if you don't have the money for one of those right now and all you have is a feeling in your gut and a hope in your heart and a dream in your head to start a brand, you can make it, you can start it. And as you grow, then you hire a $500 an hour designer to redo your logo. But right now, you've got a shot without it. And that's what we're going to talk about today. And I'm going to have plenty of designers and art directors on that that speak, but we're going to talk about something else they're really great at, which is concepting and idea generation. Because that is the missing ingredient. That's the one thing that AI can't do, right? The good news is that we've got all this stuff at our disposal, but the bad news for AI is that there's still one thing that you can't outsource, and that one thing is the idea. The one thing AI will never replace is the idea, because every idea AI gives you was born somewhere else. It was scraped from a website. It was recycled from a headline. It's a borrowed item from the internet's leftovers. That's what AI does. It scrubs for what's already created. AI can execute, but it can't originate, y'all. It can design a post, but it can't give it soul. It can polish a message, but it can't give it meaning. That's where you come in. Yes, that's where you come in. That's where I come in. That's where everybody out there with a heartbeat and a brain comes in. That's the part that separates a brand from just another business. It's the part that separates us from Terminators too. But I think we're still a few years away from Terminators. Fingers crossed. That's also why agencies still exist. People pay agencies for ideas, for brains that can look at a blank page and make something new. And that's expensive, right? And ideas should cost good money. Trust me, I spent 17 years perfecting the art of coming up with ideas. It's a skill that is hard to craft, but it's not hard to teach. And that's why I'm making this podcast, is to help teach you the art of creative concepting, okay? The method behind creativity isn't a lightning bolt moment. It's a process, one that I've watched, that I've studied, that I've learned, and that I've lived for these last 17 years. And here's how it really works. You get an input, you get an insight, you get a feeling, then you let your brain make connections. You don't force it, you follow it. And when the ideas start to show up, you don't judge them. That's where most people kill their creativity. They judge too fast. Stop it. Don't edit before you have room to explore. If you stay open long enough, one idea will feel different. It won't feel smart. It will feel true. And that's the one you chase. That's the one you build around. That's creative concepting, the art of shaping something real out of chaos. And it's so fulfilling. It's creative concepting is something we all have, just like we all have ideas. There's no the phrase, and I've heard people say it 1,000 times, I'm just not creative. Well, you know what? You just maybe shouldn't say that anymore. I call BS on that. We're all creative. Our brains just shut down the ideas literally before we can get to the meat of them. I'm not kidding when I say this. The analytical side of your brain starts shutting new ideas down that come into your thought naturally in less than 2 seconds after you have them. It's why you have a great idea and then you start overanalyzing it. Instead of letting the idea flow and keep going down the path of the idea, you're like, wow, that's a great idea. Where did I come up with that idea? How did I do that? Where did that thought originate? You start overanalyzing it before you even let the idea grow and make it something of itself. It's like in the movie Aliens, after the thing comes out of the guy's chest, it's just a little thing, right? And then it runs off and it becomes this big, unstoppable beast. Well, what we do is as soon as the little idea alien comes out of our chest, we grab a hold of it and we squeeze it and we analyze it and we look at this little alien. Where did it come from and how many legs does it have? And will it work over here and will it do that? And before we know it, it's strangled and it's dead and you just have to throw it away. Another alien loss. I don't want you to do that. I want to let your aliens grow. I want them to become unstoppable. All right? So that's what this podcast is about taking your ideas and letting them grow into something original and authentic. All right? Now let's talk about why it matters. Why authenticity and originality matter. Because if your brand looks, sounds, and feels like everybody else's, you've already lost. It's already game. It's game. To continue with the aliens references, it's game over, man. Game over. Sameness is death. Every day you're fighting for attention, and attention doesn't go to the familiar. It goes to the fresh. That's why originality matters now more than ever. And authenticity, what your true self brings to it, is going to bring you that. I have a phrase that's authenticity gives you authority. Your real job as a brand owner isn't to post more. It's not to chase the algorithm or obsess over your funnel. Your job is to create concepts, to think of ideas that make people stop and say, whoa, what was that? That's it. That's the job. And it's a skill. Oh, but here's the thing about that. It's a learnable skill. It just takes time, patience, and practice. And once you learn how to concept, how to take raw ideas and turn them into something emotional and visual and visible and visceral and undeniable, everything else becomes easier. The strategy, the design, the messaging, the execution, they all start to flow. So yeah, you don't need an agency. You need an idea, and you need the space, the process, and the courage to find it. That's what I teach. That's what we're going to talk about. That's what mind streaming was built for. And that's why my Brand Your Own Business Academy exists in the first place. And that's what we're going to go through all on this podcast. It gives you a way to think, not just a set of tools. Because the truth is, you've already got everything you need to create the brand you've been dreaming of. You just haven't unlocked your creative process yet. And that's what this podcast is all about. I'm not just going to tell you what I've learned in my 17 years as an executive creative director, working on everything from burgers to bourbon to baby diapers. I'm going to show you. I'll be teaching you the same creative principles that I've used to launch billion-dollar brands and award-winning campaigns. And I'm also bringing on some of the brightest minds in creativity, writers, filmmakers, designers, strategists, the people who make the world's ideas move. And then we're going to take it even further. I'll be concepting and creating on real brands from real people right here on the show. Sometimes by myself, sometimes with a guest live in the moment to show you exactly how I think and teach you how to bring out the creative inside you. Because branding isn't about pretending to be something you're not. It's about finding what's been whispering underneath all along and giving it a voice. So stick around. Every week on The Brand Whisperer, we'll explore how to unlock creativity, concept better ideas, and build brands that people actually feel. I'm Bill Wanek, and this is The Brand Whisperer.